This video is a quick analysis based on the comments I received from you all. My own thoughts are also included, so it's more of a speculation than a fantasy, but please watch it and let me know what you think in the comments. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel. This time, I will focus on the following 2 points. I was inspired by the comments I received, and when I reread the book, I found some scenes that made me think, maybe. There are still some points that are unclear, so let's think about them together. Before getting into the main topic, let me summarize the contents. I was really surprised that Wazarm was alive. However, rereading it, I feel like Lloyd and Grimo knew that Wazarm was alive at this point, even before Babylon reunited with him. It's not yet depicted in the secret base of Tartarus, but there may have been more to it. Perhaps they sensed remnants of magical power, or perhaps there was something else. Tartarus was resurrected after helping Wazalm, who had been defeated by Lloyd. Wazalm mocks him when he hears that the name is the same as Tartarus, the evil god and gate of hell. Of course, there will be more scenes in the future, but there may be some kind of secret agreement. After Babylon reunited with Wazarm, a fierce battle took place. Wazarm returned more powerful. In addition, despite not valuing magic, he began to read magical books, and there was a big change in Wazarm after his resurrection. I think this was due to Tartarus's advice. I think Tartarus, upon hearing Wazarm's goal, suggested that magic was essential to achieve it. So, what that goal is has not been revealed, and we can only speculate. Babylon asks about his goals, and he answers that one of them is to settle things with Lloyd. I think this is one of the things necessary to achieve his goals. I will explain why later. When Gizem came to the human world from the demon realm, he wanted Jade's teleportation ability. So why did he want that power? The reason has not been revealed, and he has said that he will talk about it at some point. It has certainly been talked about since Gizem first appeared. So, what are my thoughts on Gizem's goals? Gizem is a nobleman of royalty in the demon world. Can such a nobleman travel alone to the human world outside the continent? Does he even come here? Apparently he can move even as a spirit, so is that not a problem? How did he find Jade? Is it some kind of magic detector? Perhaps Norware is an offshoot of a demon, and was after Jade from the beginning, who was born with a unique constitution that gave him a physical body and the ability to teleport. There are many questions, but to summarize, it goes something like this. For example, if tens of thousands of demons and things could be teleported, it would be possible to launch a surprise attack. There was a panel where the things just changed their clothes, so I think it would be possible. The reason why nobles would go to the trouble of coming to the human world in search of abilities would be invasion. I don't know if he fell into ruin, but Gizem seems to be an ambitious person, so he may have had his eye on abilities after receiving advice from someone or reading a book in the demon world. However, after meeting Lloyd and Tartarus, Gizem changed his mind and had a further goal, which I think is related to Lloyd. Regarding Lloyd, I'll start by explaining the latest episode, otherwise I won't be able to explain Gizem's purpose and Lloyd's lineage as the Demon King. By the way, the definition of a Demon King here is not the King of Magicians, but the King of the Demon World. Lloyd was no longer able to control his magical powers well, and ended up with an excess of them, which put him in a terrible state. In such a situation, a stun beat occurs, and the worst developments are happening. Furthermore, Babylon, who is irritated by Aisha's song and teleports to stop Gizem from attacking, gets excited, and everyone applauds, but the latest episode was even more exciting. To be honest, it was thanks to the latest episode that I was able to speculate, or rather, imagine this.
Gizem, who had been holding back his magical powers to stop Lloyd from coming, but he was enraged by Babylon's provocation and his magical powers started leaking out. He was then immediately hit with a mysterious flying kick and got completely beaten up. The person he was attacking was, of course, Lloyd. Wow, this was a super exciting turn of events. When I read it, I was like, oh, what will happen next? And looking forward to it. Gizem's comedic touch is also funny. The way the conversation doesn't seem to mesh well is also amusing.
Soon after meeting Lloyd, he starts babbling away about the dangerous situation he's in, even though his enemy, Gizem, is there. Hearing this, Gizem gets cocky and says, "Hey, are you kidding me? You can't even use magic properly, can you beat me?" Gizem challenges him to give it a try, but this was a mistake. With an excess of magical power, Lloyd is more dangerous than ever. In the flight version with an excess of magical power, Gizem flies incredibly high. Gizem tries to escape by teleporting, but the amount of magical power is too great and he cannot overwrite the magic formula, so he is unable to escape. He passes through the atmosphere, his whole body is burned, and he writhes in agony. This is the most realistic and slightly gruesome depiction ever, in the history of the Seventh Prince. Babylon almost says something. This panel seems a little suspicious, too. And then Lloyd launches his final attack. When Lloyd tells Gizem, who is far away in space, that there won't be any damage from here, the Shadow Wolf explosion explodes. Just when you think he's been blown to pieces, Gizem is still alive. No one knows what has happened. The expressions on Gizem and Babylon's faces are confusing, and of course, the readers feel the same way. And there is a mysterious sword next to Lloyd. Was this the sword that was causing Gizem and the others to have an illusion? This is the first time we've seen this sword, right? Is it the demon-absorbing sword? Is it not? If you know anything, please let me know. Lloyd gets really scary from here on out. He really threatens Gizem. He's just going along with Tartarus's games, you know. If Gizem causes any harm to Saloon, he'll seriously turn him into space waste. I think this is the first time we've seen Lloyd get this angry. This has gotten long, but from here on out, I'll start speculating. It's still not very clear, so it's difficult, but please be patient. From here on, I will be making some speculations. Based on the latest episode, there are 3 points that I am concerned about. I will also be sharing my speculations about Gizem from honestly, I don't know what this sword is. Is it related to the military magic Lloyd was reading about? I searched for it with Google Lens, but I couldn't find any similar images. If you know, please let me know in the comments. I don't know, so I'll move on to the next one. Next is this depiction of Babylon. It's as if Lloyd is being told to wait just a moment when Gizem is in danger, and is then shown to be relieved that Gizem is alive. This could be because Gizem is absorbing Babylon's magical powers, while at the same time brainwashing her to work as a pawn. By the way, as I received in the comments, if you look up Babylon on Wikipedia, it seems to mean something like a lost ancient city or the gate of the gods. So that Gizem can become a god or king in the demon world. Or if it has some other meaning like a fallen city or the revival, that would be super exciting. Next is this line from Gizem. At first glance, it sounds like he's trying to catch up with Lloyd, but I interpreted it as, if I take over your body, I can do this. That's really nice. I'm happy. Next is the description of Ito's visit to Jiden. Upon seeing Ito's magical powers, Jiden describes him as of the bloodline of the Demon King. Furthermore, it is said that the founder of magic, William Bordeaux, said that magic is based on talent, effort, and above all else, blood. I think this founder was the Demon King, or the bloodline of the Demon King. I think that this branched off and magic began to permeate the human world. Incidentally, even before Dao fought Ito, Chen described Ito as of the bloodline of the Demon King, even though he had never met Ito. In other words, Lloyd's blood is thicker than Ito's, the pure blood of the Demon King. When Ito created Tartarus, he touched something, which meant he touched the Demon King's magical power. The Tartarus that was created at this time has been depicted many times since the first volume. If you look closely at the depiction of the eyes, they are like countless screaming humans. Perhaps they are connected to the underworld or hell. That's why it's called Tartarus, the gate to hell. With this in mind, when Gizem fought Lloyd for the first time, he touched Lloyd to tell him not to sneeze. Perhaps Grimoire didn't notice because he is a demon, but the demon Gizermu realized that Lloyd may be of the Demon King's bloodline the moment he touched him, and then consulted Tartarus. Perhaps he aimed to take over Lloyd's body, who is of the Demon King's bloodline, and use the power of Babylon, the gate of the gods, and Tartarus, the gate of hell, or the underworld, to unify the demon world, or even take over the world. So to summarize, Gizerm used his teleportation skills to invade the world and restore the fallen nobility. There he noticed Lloyd, who was of the Demon Lord's bloodline. The origin of magic is a demon king, demon race, or devil. Over time, Lloyd genetically awakens to magic. Gizerm takes over Lloyd's body and aims to unify the world by using Babylon and Tartarus. Tartarus may also use Gizerm to take over Lloyd's body in order to become perfect, and to challenge and take over the evil god Tartarus.